Hey guys! So I wanted to do a follow-up video on a previous video that I did that was about tips for first-time bikini competitors. I just recently finished an NPC bikini competition and I made a video. Well, I had a whole series just showing what that was like and prepping for that, and then I did a follow-up video just sharing some of the things I learned that I thought might be helpful for people that I learned along the way to try and help save you some time. So this video, I wanted to share just some thoughts on competing on a budget. So I wanted to share a little bit about how much it costs to compete, as well as maybe some ways that you can cut costs. So bikini competitions are a pretty ridiculously expensive sport, considering you're basically on stage for, I don't know, 30 seconds, and really only showing off what you're bringing to show for about 10 seconds. But let me just go over real quick some of the main costs that there are in a bikini competition. So there is your entry fee, which is, for mine, it was $150. I would say it's generally going to be at least $100 to enter a show, but it depends on where you're competing, who's hosting the show. And then there's your NPC card, which I believe was $125. So that is just a fee that you pay to the NPC to compete, and it lasts for a year. So when you have that, you buy it once, it's good for the year, you can compete as many times. You're always going to have to pay for your registration for that show, but the NPC card you just have to pay for once per year. And then there are things like tanning, which most people would recommend getting your tan professionally done, not doing it yourself. So that can be probably upwards of $100. The company that I worked with that was dedicated at the location by the people putting on the show, that was $100. I've seen other ones that just for one coat it's $100 and they have to pay more for their second coat. Mine encompassed it all. And then there is hair, there's makeup, there's nails, there's jewelry, there's your suit. There may be airfare and hotel stay depending on how far you have to travel to go to your show. And then there is your food for prepping during competition, and possibly a coach, and that could be a personal trainer, that could be a separate nutrition coach, or that may be someone who's doing all of that for you. And then beyond that, there are the basics that you probably already have if you're competing, or planning to compete, like a gym membership, things like that. But those are all of the major costs. So depending on how all out you want to go on those things, that can cost $500, $600, $800, maybe $1,000, depending on how extravagant you're going with things. You could be spending over $1,000 for a show. When I first heard that, I thought, then heck no, I'm not doing a show. So I wanted to compete, so I figured I could find different ways to find deals. And I did a pretty good job getting away with spending not too crazy amount on the show. I think probably under $500, which for a lot of people, I don't think many people spend that little on a show, but it is possible. You just have to be willing, depends what you're willing to give up and what is really important to you. For me, because it was a first time show, and I think I would recommend this probably for most people, I didn't feel the need to go super extravagant with a suit or with even spending tons on hair and makeup or going really extravagant on anything. I really just wanted the experience of competing, and I feel like for your first one, you don't know if you're gonna like it, you don't know how well you're gonna do, so I wouldn't necessarily, put in $400 to a suit. So just to get out of the way, just to start with the NPC card and your registration, those are automatic. You have to pay them. There's no cheaper ways to do that. You're gonna have to spend probably around $300 just to compete, just to get into the show. So after that though, I started to look for as many deals as I possibly could. So, and I forgot to mention shoes. So you have to have clear heels, about 5 inches, to in these shows. So everyone's got the same clear heels. They might have higher platforms or whatever, but they need to be pretty much 5 inches, a little bit less if you really can't walk in that, but that's kind of the standard. Those typically run probably $30 to $50. So I went on eBay and I happened to find a pair of shoes that was the brand I wanted. I had researched brands. And I was going pretty basic. Like, again, I may not wear these again. I didn't want to, you know, spend tons of money. No judge is going to care if you have rhinestones on your shoes or anything. They can be basic. So I went on eBay. I found a pair in my size of the brand I wanted, which was E-L-L-E. And they hadn't been worn. It was someone who had ordered them and then just decided never to use them or not to compete. So I think I got them for about 20 bucks. So I would definitely suggest things like eBay, Amazon to find your shoes, and to find jewelry. I went to Amazon.com to get my jewelry, and I also went to the fashion district in downtown LA. So if you do happen to live in like a downtown area or somewhere there's a fashion district or place you can get things cheaper, I would suggest that. I got these earrings for super blingy, by the way. You want bling, probably like $8 or something. And then I got these bracelets on Amazon.com. I think it was a total of like $4 for both of them or something. I saw a lot of people competing, talking about spending like, I don't know, $20 on a bracelet or earrings or something, and I thought that was ridiculous. So I spent very little and it looked just as good. No one would be able to tell the difference. So I would definitely suggest going online, eBay, something like that to find your jewelry. And then as far as a suit, again, went online, did a lot of research. Didn't go with any big name suits or anything like that because they cost so much money. And I heard from someone else who competed that they got a suit on Etsy. So I went to Etsy.com and I, again, researched different suit makers, found someone that got a lot of reviews but had really great prices. And that's even like, it was super helpful because she answered a lot of my questions and could do still a custom suit. So this was my suit, a little bit of rhinestones, not too much. That's one thing when you pick a suit, the more rhinestones you have on it, the more expensive it's gonna be. And I looked and I saw like pro competitors who have had super plain suits, like nothing on there. So it's not a requirement to have it all blinged out. It does look nicer, it reflects the light a little bit better. And all you're really getting judged on is kind of the suit, the fit, the color, how it looks on you, how you present the suit. So I just went pretty basic with the rhinestones, not like anything crazy. I could have gone a little bit cheaper, but this suit ended up costing about, probably with shipping and tax and all that, about $150. And that was about the cheapest I could find where I wasn't willing to like be surprised or be scared with what I got or worry if the quality was going to be good. I did want good quality. So I went with the best I could find at the cheapest price, but I did even see some that were around $100. If you wanted to go really basic, you could probably get a suit for about $100. You can find used suits as well, but even those I found were like in the $200 range from like the bigger name designers. So I just went with Etsy. It turned out great. I loved it. I would do it again. So I would definitely suggest using something like that. Food, honestly, a lot of people say to consider the food and that it's really expensive to eat healthy. I was already eating healthy. I was already eating a lot of things like vegetables and chicken breasts and different things. And I think probably for me, I spent less money on food because I wasn't going out to eat. I wasn't going out to dinners with friends. I wasn't going out to have a glass of wine. I wasn't going out to eat like anywhere almost ever. I probably went out a few times for very basic meals, but I probably actually saved money because I was just doing chicken breasts and vegetables and not a lot of sauces, not a lot of ingredients. So though you do have to spend a lot of money because you're eating a lot of food and it has to be very healthy and clean and all of that, you're eliminating meals out and kind of extravagant different types of foods and ingredients. And so I think I probably pretty much evened out on food. But if you're not used to eating healthy, if you're competing and you're kind of getting into that, you're used to eating more junk, then you may need to consider you'll be spending more money on just those fresh, healthy foods from the grocery store. All right, so then there are things like hair, nails, makeup. You don't have to have nails. Pretty much everyone does because it just adds to the appearance of beauty and poise. And so most people will get fake nails. I would totally suggest just buying like hard to see. These are just drugstore like CVS acrylic press-on nails. I think they're like $6 or something like that. They'll last for probably about 5 days. And you can't tell the difference when, when someone's sitting down in the judging area on stage. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. So a lot of acrylic nails or gels will be $25, $35, $45. So you can easily skip that cost and just get like press-on nails that'll last for a few days. I'm just gonna do my own hair and makeup. If you have a little bit of skill with that, I would just say research YouTube videos, practice, do it on your own. I did have someone tell me not to skimp on that. So you do want it to look very professional, very nice. And you may want help with that if you don't know how to do it. But otherwise, I would just suggest, practicing what you want to do with your hair and your makeup and just doing it yourself. But I happen to get help with my hair and makeup from a friend. I have a friend who is a makeup artist, does hair, so she did that for me, and we actually did an exchange where I'm going to do training for her. Similarly, with training, I happen to have, this is very unlikely to happen, but I happen to have someone who offered to train me for free. So I did get trained for free, but if you're already working out, you pretty much probably know what you need to do. It's just really working out hard and adapting and focusing on the areas that you need to strengthen. If you have no clue what you're doing, then yes, I would suggest hiring a coach, even if it's someone to just for a day tell you what areas you need to work on and maybe give you some workout tips for that. But if you don't have someone who just happened to offer to help you, you can still consider something like maybe there's a coach who'd be willing to train you once a week for free if you were to help promote them on social media, or something like that, some sort of exchange. Or if you have some other skill, or you sell something, or there's some service that you can trade off, I would totally recommend trying to ask people if they'd be willing to help you in exchange for some service that you can provide them, rather than have to spend tons of money on it. Then that's kind of like, you might be able to get your hair and makeup done that way. You might be able to get some training advice, get some nutrition advice. I did end up getting a posing and nutrition coach. I did a lot of research on posing, and I think you can learn a lot from doing that. But for me to have a person who helped me really made a big difference. I realized I would have looked probably like an idiot, or just not presented my body that well on stage had I not had someone to help me. So I would recommend doing that. She also did my macro coaching for the last 4 weeks. So I knew enough about diet, and I was kind of far along enough in the process. It was kind of similar where we worked out a deal. She gave me a better price because she was only helping me for the last 4 weeks. And I just found her online. She was a previous winner of multiple shows. She happened to be a coach. I looked online and contacted her, and it happened that her posing coaching prices were not bad. I think I spent maybe $30 a session, and I just did 2 sessions with her. Some people charge $60 for 1 session or $100 for a session. So I, again, would just research and find different posing coaches and see if you can find someone who's a bit more affordable. That was totally fine for me. And then she ended up doing my nutrition, again, for a pretty low price. So find people like that. Find people that, maybe have won previous shows, or that maybe don't have as many big programs and might be willing to work with you depending on your needs and your budget. Being a personal trainer, I know that there's some people sometimes will work out different budgets and arrangements depending on their need and their budget, what they're looking for. So you can always ask. Just ask people if they're willing to do something. Definitely spend time doing your research, learning what you can from YouTube and articles, and do everything you can so that when you do find some additional help, you don't need maybe the full program. I would just say, if you're just starting out, you're brand new to working out, you're brand new to good eating, you're going from, maybe significantly overweight to wanting to compete for the first time, that may be a different story. I would probably suggest just getting a coach to help you along the way. But if you have more experience and you've been working out for a while, and this is just kind of a next step for you, you may already know kind of the basics. And just need a little help here and there. Hopefully that's everything. Those are going to be your major costs. There are going to be things like lotions to prep for tanning. Little things along the way that you need to be like exfoliating before you get tanned, and you need to use your certain lotions, and things like that will come up. So I would just spend money on the things that are really important to you and that you know will help you do your best, will make your body look your best. And then, you know, if you can skimp here and there on just sort of some of the little beauty things or little things you already know that maybe you don't need like professional help for, then do that. Most important is to have a great body, to be muscular, to be lean, to still be a little bit soft, and to have a feminine, beautiful appearance, and probably most importantly, to walk with confidence, to have stage presence and poise. That combined with a great body is what's really gonna win you the show. All the other little stuff helps, but it's not what's gonna make or break the show for you. It's really your posing, your body, and your presentation. So I would say spend your money on those things the most. Do the best that you can with those, and then in other areas, if you need to cut some little corners here and there, you'll probably be okay. And those are my tips for how to do that and make it out of a NPC bikini show, especially if you're just doing it for fun. You know, at under $500 probably, or right around that mark. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions or want specific tips or ideas on any of these things, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. So if this is helpful for you, please like this video and share it with anyone else that may need the tips. And keep coming back to the channel to check for workout videos, watch my previous NPC prep videos. So I will see you soon.